critical. I think it's the way that it's got to be seen as critical. It's part of the way that the people, we have to remember these are ordinary people, but the way they're going to interact with the airlines and with the airports, what they're looking for is ease, speed, convenience, and the best way to do that is to do it online. It doesn't mean that the things like the call centres and the more traditional methods of booking a flight or whatever are going to fall by the wayside, but the online space really has to be where a lot of the focus is. And I think the airlines that understand that and understand what people want from the airline, from an online experience, are the ones that are going to win out. So it's really about understanding, not just having an online experience for the sake of it, but having the right online experience that just allows the customer to do everything they want, when they want, how they want. I think that part of the answer is in the questionnaire, the higher demands of passengers. The expectations that passengers have now are not always set by what that airline did last year or the year before, or what their competitors are doing, but those passengers are people who have real lives for which travelling by air is just a small part of that life. So what I mean is their expectations are being set by their interactions with other organisations that they deal with, whether it's kind of retail online, or whether it's a service company, or whether it's basically anything. There might be the local cinema, might be the local coffee house or something. So that's what's setting those expectations, and I think airlines that are starting to understand that are going to win out. What are they doing in reality? Well, they're doing a lot of things that make it easier for passengers to book, to get the service, to personalise the service that they want, and I think there's more of an understanding of the nuances behind what it's really like to be a passenger. So it's no longer just book a flight, turn up, go, land, off. It's kind of, there's a lot more, there's the segmentation thing. A lot of airlines are doing more segmentation work, so it's not just about leisure and business travellers, because ostensibly, you might say business travellers want Wi-Fi and to be through an airport as quickly as possible, but actually a lot of leisure passengers do as well. And so, one day I might be a business passenger, the next day I might be travelling with my family. So I'm the same person, I just want slightly different things on that day. So I think what are airlines doing for their passengers is understanding them better, listening, and just making the small changes that make a big difference. We've done some research that says for airline passengers, what they really want, what they really value is just for things to be calm, quick, easy, friendly. They want clean aircraft. And as long as those basics are in place, then airlines can start building the more kind of wow experiences. Mobile has to be up there, and we just had an interesting conversation at this event actually about how do you define mobile. Traditionally it would have been laptops, today it's smartphones and tablets, tomorrow it's all of those plus wearable technology and near-field communications. So I think to pin it down on one technology is going to be that's a high risk. I think what airlines and airports need to be is very cognizant of all the different types of technologies and the way that people are using them. And the trick there also is to move at the pace at which those are being adopted. So there could be a time I would ask the question, am I going to need a smartphone in order to fly? If I haven't got a smartphone, am I not able to fly? That time may come. But there's going to be an adoption process, and the danger for airlines is that in trying to catch up with the advances in other industries and other markets, that they leap too far ahead of a lot of their passengers who are, a lot of airports and airlines carry a huge percentage of leisure travellers who just want to turn up and go through the airport, and technology for them doesn't play an awfully big part. So I think airlines got to be very careful about how they manage it. Yes, use it, exploit the right technology, and use technology to provide solutions for customers and also to make their own operations more effective. But it's got to be the right technology and not technology for technology's sake. A lot of people would say not enough. It's a really key issue, and they are addressing it. That's slightly unfair, but you look at the research that says what is it about airlines and airports that you find frustrating or niggles, and more often it'll be the lack of information when something goes wrong. Passengers, people, we all accept that the schedule changes, there might be fog, there might be storms, there might be strikes. We accept that, but the issue is how are you going to get that information to me and manage my expectations and tell me what's going to happen next. Hopefully there will come a time when there is a schedule change that we don't hear the messages that say ring your airline for details. We'll hear your airline will get in touch with you or your airport will get in touch with you. Because from a passenger, I've already given you all my information, my cell phone number, my email address, my day of travel contact details. So why is it that if there is a schedule change, the onus is on me to contact you as an airline and not the other way around? So I think it's those sort of things that airlines and airports need to focus on. They need to work together better. They need to share information, which has often been a point of tension between airlines and airports. But the benefit, it may seem a little thing in the overall scheme of things for airlines and airports, but actually again going back to the research, it says one of the reasons why I would choose a different airport is because this airport, I've had some research said, I live quite close to airport X, but I'm going to drive past that and go to airport Y because I know that if there is a problem, they're much better at communicating. And there was a real world example. So I think if airlines don't pay attention to that specific issue, that they're going to lose out to the airports and airlines that do. Dramatically, I think, and it has to. Again, going back to that bar of expectations that's constantly rising amongst customers and passengers, it's going to become a lot more personal. It's going to become a lot more technical, if you like, but consumer-led technology, not technology-led technology, if that makes sense. It's going to be a lot more, I think, that from the point of thinking about booking a flight or a holiday or a business trip, right the way through to arriving at that destination and coming back. That's just going to be one sort of unitary function, if you like. So the lines between airport, airline, travel company, car park, car hire, whoever else is in that value chain, are just going to come crunching together, and the airlines and airports who work together collaboratively to pull that together, they're the ones that are going to win out in terms of making that passenger experience as seamless and as consistent as possible. And the other dimension to that is the focus on employees internally to making sure that they understand what the experience should be and how to deliver it. Because with the best in the world, you can have the greatest plans, but if they're not delivered in the way it was intended on a consistent basis, the wow becomes a waste of work, and it goes back to get the basics in place, build the brand proposition around it, work collaboratively, build a seamless experience, and that's where the focus has got to be.